Okay, just as a note, this video is going to go all over the place. I just thought I'd just yabber on about a bunch of different stuff. For example, Carolyn just washed a blanket. It's pretty nice. We have that wash machine now, that little apartment-sized wash machine that you hook into the, like a sink, your bathroom sink, and washes blankets. That used to be a real chore, having to wash blankets in the, well, in these tubs here. Those are sinks there. So she hated getting it, but I do think that she has learned to like it. We're still trying to warm the water up. We've been unfrozen for a few days now, but there is definitely, or was, I don't think there is now, ice coat inside the hoses, you know, the plumbing. So there was just a small little trickle of water coming through when we turned the water on. But she did laundry today, and we got enough of this water to go through those pipes to warm it up. And we've been right at 32 degrees, 29 degrees. It's not freezing because we're running that little trickle of water through it all day long. So when she did laundry, we got enough of this warmer water to go through it. Then I filled it back up, and that you can maybe probably still see there's ice still floating around in the water. The tank is now at 34 degrees, so that should melt eventually. And it's supposed to get up to 50 degrees outside today, so I'm leaving this open, hopefully to kind of warm it up a little bit. I mean, Carolyn and I have a little bit of a discussion on this. Maybe we should just leave it closed because it doesn't get a lot of sun, but right now it's getting a little bit of sun, so I thought I'd open it up and try to get that to warm up a little bit, because I want to get it warm before the cold temperatures hit again in February. They're talking about another big cold snap. If this thing's too cold, it'll freeze up before we get down to the temperatures it normally freezes up at. Well, last year we froze up at -4. But what happened this year was we was down into the teens for so long, and then it dropped down to 4 degrees, and it was already too cold. There was just no way to keep the plumbing warm. And of course, you know, people are still giving me suggestions on how to run electric stuff. Run electric stuff. I'm not going to do anything. It's not that big of a deal. We've been froze for 2 days. 2 days, that's it. And I don't know what they're not really saying what the temperatures are going to be this time. So, you know, they say a deep freeze. That could be 10 degrees, who knows? So I'm pretty happy with our water system. I realize that the trolls are not. I don't even know if it's trolls. I'm sure it is. Hey, I'm going to interrupt this video real quick and ask you at the end of this video, there'll be an up next box to my other channel. And I think we'll be repairing a push mower. So yesterday you saw me using that chainsaw, the one I rebuilt. It was a steel chainsaw, and it cut up that tree pretty good. Carolyn's hacking away at splitting our wood down to smaller sizes. So I left that little stump because I don't want to hit this wire. I could probably knock it down a little bit without any danger of hitting it, but I don't know. I might. I tell you, that was a pretty good hinge. Rip the fibers out like that. That's a good hinge. So I don't know. I guess now I'm looking at it, I could come back over here, get another couple logs out of it. Probably 2 logs if I'm real careful. I don't want, like I said, don't want to hit it. But anyway, that steel chainsaw I replaced the engine in. I told you about that like 2 days ago. So yesterday we tested it out and cut this, you know, I wouldn't say a big tree, but it's bigger than a branch. And it did a fantastic job. I think the oiler, the thing that oils the blade, might be going bad. And I could replace that, but I just don't want to spend any more money on that chainsaw. So I'll just get a little can squirter, which, you know, was like $6 for 2 of them. And I already need one for the business, the lawnmower repair business. So I'll use the second one, and every few minutes I'll just squirt a little bit of oil on the chain. That way I don't have to worry about it. It is still oiling. I took it apart yesterday, ran it without the bar on it, and the oil is dripping out, but not very fast. So it's probably just wearing out. Like I said, could replace it, but I don't want to spend the money. So, I mean, and the thing is we're not cutting that much firewood anymore. I mean, the bulk of our firewood is done for the rest of our lives. So it's just, you know, a tree here or there every now and then. I'll cut one down just to kind of, so we don't run out before we die. I was planning on cleaning this up today, grabbing the beast of the Craftsman garden tractor. I was going to drag those branches over to the pile of branches over there. And now I'm looking at it. Might be a bit of a challenge. We'll see what we can do. But I was going to drag those branches over and get them all stacked up. And then I was going to take the pile of logs, which isn't a huge pile, but you know, there'll be a few. You know, that's probably 2 weeks worth of firewood right there, though. And then Carolyn will use all this stuff to cook with. You know, all the branches. So, you know, 2 weeks worth of firewood for 10 minutes worth of work, 15 minutes worth of work. Well, actually, it was 22 minutes worth of work because I recorded the whole thing nonstop, and that's how long the video was. And now, of course, when I edited it, edited down to 15 minutes, but that's how long I was out here, 22 minutes. 22 minutes for 2 weeks worth of firewood. You think about it, 2 weeks, that's probably in a house, running gas, propane, electric, heat, 2 weeks worth of, that's probably $200. So I made $200 in 22 minutes cutting this up. That's what you get for living in a tiny house. You just don't have to spend a lot of money. I'm still called miserly. You need to let loose with some money. Well, I'm glad folks love to tell me how to spend my money. So, and then, like I said, we'll get the beast out, drag this over. It might be a little bit more difficult than I was thinking. We'll have to take a look at this. I might just, well, maybe not. Yeah, that'll drag okay. We'll see. If it doesn't work, then I'll drag it over by hand. Well, I wanted to talk about my new channel, and as a matter of fact, at the end of this video, there'll be an up next box to my other channel. It's a Shade Tree Mower Mechanic channel, and it's doing really well. It's got over, I think, 1,050 subscribers now. We're probably right around 1,200, maybe 1,200 watch hours. So we're getting there. First thing I want to talk about is the scope of the channel. We're already getting into discussions of what I should be talking about on this channel, on the new channel. I don't want to treat my new channel like a vlog channel. That's what this channel is. It's a vlog channel. And apparently I'm not very good at vlogging. Not only that, when it comes to vlogging, everybody has an opinion on how things should be done. What you should do, solar panels up in the air or on the ground, and everything's an opinion. But if you keep to a educational channel where you're just teaching how to do something, this is how you clean a carburetor. There's not much opinion to that. I'm sure somebody would come up with an opinion. Well, in my opinion, you just, you know, replace the car. Well, that's the thing. In order to come up with an opinion, they actually have to change the topic. You know, if the title says how to clean a carburetor, no, you should have changed the carburetor. That wasn't the title. That's not the educational purpose. So they're already changing it. So I really want to keep the focus of the channel pretty narrow and just keep it to working on small engines. What's interesting is it's already been reported to YouTube that my channel is misinformation, because the channel title is Shade Tree Mower Mechanic. Well, I did a video on how to repair, the title said how to repair a 2-cycle engine, or what's wrong with this 2-cycle engine. Or so 2-cycle could be used, in my mind, for mowers, weed eaters. I mean, you can consider a weed eater a mower, can't you? You're cutting grass. They said that since my channel says mower in the channel name, I can't be working on anything but mowers. Well, I mean, YouTube isn't going to squabble over that. I mean, that is just nitpicking, trying to find a reason to report my channel. But the channel scope is going to be things that you use on your property. It may be a better way to put it. Generators might be a stretch of the imagination, but you know, you use generator on your property. You could use a generator to run an electric mower, who knows? We're going to talk about chainsaws and weed eaters and augers, hedge trimmers, riding mowers, push mowers, you know, that kind of stuff. And the thing is, when you go to the description of my channel, that's what it says. But they're going to nitpick this. I mean, the trolls are already coming over. They're just furious that they can't really find anything wrong with my channel. They really want to make it into a vlogging channel. And I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to make that mistake. And I already made a mistake, and I replied to a comment that I shouldn't have replied to. I should have just left it alone. So I cleaned a carburetor in this video. The one you're going to watch at the end of this video. I cleaned a carburetor on a push mower. And I said, what's wrong with this? I think the title says, why won't my lawnmower start, my push mower start after winter? We got into it and the carburetor was dirty. And somebody says, I don't know why you've never talked about stabilizers. You should put a stabilizer there and that way your gas won't go bad. Okay, that's outside the scope of the channel. That's an opinion. And I'm not going to get into opinions. I know everybody, there's a lot of people who think that stabilizers are good. I don't. I've seen a lot of lawnmowers come in needing repaired that had stabilizer in it years ago. I mean, alcohol captures moisture. There's moisture in the air. You set your gas can on the ground. If it's not sealed up, it's going to start collecting moisture. And when that alcohol finally absorbs so much water that it can't hold anymore, then it starts to float to the bottom. But the stabilizers, the only thing they do is stabilize the gas. They don't prevent moisture. It's still going to collect moisture. So if you want to put stabilizer, I mean, this is just, again, this is an opinion. I don't even know if it's what I'm getting ready to say is true. If you want to put stabilizer in your gasoline, I mean, I guess that'll help you get through the season, but you still need to vacate the gasoline from the carburetor. The gasoline, that ethanol, stabilizers don't do anything to protect your carburetor. It chews up and crystallizes and gums up the carburetor. The gasoline does. Ethanol, or the stabilizer, doesn't do anything to prevent that. So if you think the gasoline is better with stabilizer in it, then put a shut-off valve on your lawnmower, run the gas out of the carburetor, put stabilizer in the gas. Of course, you should do that before because you want it to mix up. And make sure, I mean, you got to make sure that carburetor is empty. And then, because then what I said, somebody said, no, you should run the carburetor empty, which is, I agreed with them. I said, exactly, that's the best method. It is the best method. You're guaranteed not to hurt the carburetor without gas in it. But then the arguments start because now everybody has an opinion about stabilizers. I should have just kept my mouth shut. One person said, no, you don't want to run the carburetor dry because then all the gaskets and seals crack up. I've never replaced one that, or never had to fix one, that the seals and gaskets were cracked up because there was no gas in it. The gas will mess up the seals and the gaskets with stabilizer or without stabilizer, but running it dry doesn't. Now, that's not true with two-cycle. Two-cycle, that diaphragm will dry out, but it'll rehydrate as soon as you put more gas into it. So, I mean, I've showed you that. So again, it's all opinion. I have seen YouTubers show that stabilizers don't work. They let gas sit in an engine for different periods of time, and the engine wouldn't start, and the carburetor's corroded and gummed up with all kinds of different stabilizers. They had like, I don't know, 12 or 15 engines that sat for 12 months or 6 months and 10 months. You know, they just did all kinds of experiments with it. But I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to show how to repair lawnmowers. I mean, there are channels out there that do these kind of tests. There's one channel, that's all they do. They test everything. They test stabilizers, they test super glues and jacks, jack stands, car ramps, you know, the things you ramp up your car on so you work on it. They test everything. And they have all these scientific tests. Go to those channels if you want to learn about stabilizers and which one's the best, which ones isn't. Over here, we're going to learn how to repair your lawnmower so it will start running again when it wasn't running. I'm not going to get into opinions. When I do a tune-up, I put a shut-off valve on the machine. If it's push more, I'll just run it out of gas. If it's riding more, I'll put a shut-off valve on the machine. I'll shut the fuel valve off. I'll run it out of gasoline. I'll tell the customer to run it out of gasoline if he's going to start it up to get it home. You don't put it on the trailer and get off trailer. Just shut it off and let it run out of gas. Take your key out so you don't kill the battery. But even at that, if I'm going to service the lawnmower for next winter, I'll take the battery out and tell them, well, we've got to push it in. I'll get the beast. We'll start towing them into the trailers. As far as putting stabilizer in, it's not something I'm going to do. So to tell me that I need to do that on my videos, I'm not going to do it, because first of all, I just don't agree with it. Second, I'm not going to make a vlog about it. And third, he gaslit me, because when I said exactly something, when somebody told me to, said that, you should run the gas out, and I said exactly, well, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the customer. My customer? You mean my customer is going to get on my video and look at your comment and think, huh, I should follow that guy's advice. Maybe I should ask me, the guy who works on a lawnmower, what I should do. But that was gaslighting, because that's not what he was doing. He said I need to recommend it on my channel. So it's amazing how many people gaslight in the comments. I mean, how can you miss it? You read the comment, then you read the reply, and that's not what you said up here. It wasn't even close. So we'll keep those kind of comments from over here. But to me, I just run the... As a matter of fact, I got a mower up here somebody gave me. It was midwinter when they gave it to me, or maybe early winter. And it's a nice little walk behind. It's self-propelled. And he said it didn't run. So as he was here, I noticed that this bar was on upside down. This bar, the bar you need to use to shut off and turn on the mower, it was on upside down. It was under here. So I flipped it around while he was here, and it didn't start. When he left, put some gas in it, hit it with some starting fluid, started right up and stayed running, and it's ran ever since. So of course I had gas in it, so I just ran it out of gas, and it's been sitting here. I took the rope off so it would not get damaged by any rays or ice. It's kind of underneath the shed here. And then I put WD-40 in all the cables, like WD-40 drain down there, so they don't rust up. And I'll do that a couple times this winter, just so they don't get rusted up and freeze up. And I also zip tied this, so even if the cable does get rusted up, I can still start it. I just won't be able to shut it off. I figure it's better that it runs than not run. But when you release this, it puts a ground to the ignition coil, which provides the spark to the spark plug, or the electricity to the spark plug. So if you're going to do this, then you got to put a zip tie on your spark plug wire also. That way, if you want to kill it, you can just pull the spark plug wire off. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you over to the other channel. And I think I'm going to be working on a push mower. So I hope I can inspire you. I don't know, just have a casual day every now and then. Signal of your dreams. Thanks for watching.